Well, the Archdiocese of Boston is calling for intense prayer as the city prepares to host a so-called Satanic convention this weekend. Organizers say the event, known as SatanCon, celebrates the history of a group that denies the existence of God. It also protests religious symbols in public spaces. In response to this weekend's convention, the Archdiocese says that it has increased the availability of Eucharistic Adoration and other Catholic devotions. We go now to Bishop Mark O'Connell, Auxiliary Bishop of Boston. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. First off, I'm curious, what did you think when you heard that this event was taking place in Boston? What was your first reaction?
Well, I was, as everyone else, I'm taken aback. Now, we happen to have a Satanic temple in our Archdiocese, not ours, of course. But so it's not the most unusual thing for us, but it is still very sad that they want to hold the largest Satanic gathering in the history of the world, they say.
And what more do you know about this group that's hosting this event?
Well, what I've heard, I don't know them, haven't reached out personally, but what I've heard is they don't consider themselves evil. They consider themselves a religion, and so I guess I have to respect that they don't mean violence. But nevertheless, when you're playing with Satan, you have to be wary, and so we all need to pray for them who are literally playing with the devil.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Bishop Mark, have you heard from the faithful about this event? Are they concerned about this?
Well, right from the beginning of this announcement, we've had people reaching out to us saying, do you know about this? And they're worried about this. So yes, people are worried about this. So that's why we have a whole strategy of how we're dealing with it throughout our whole Archdiocese in the region.
Yeah, and not only is Boston hosting an event with Satan in the name, I guess the event is reportedly sold out. What does that signal to you?
There's a lot of confusion in the world, and a lot of lost souls. And hopefully, through our prayer, through our efforts, some of them will find a better path.
And I'm curious, what's the Archdiocese doing, in the wake of this event as far as initiative, prayers, advice for the faithful? What can you tell us?
Well, Tracy, this is not the first time something like this has happened. Not a convention, but other things like this. For example, famously, there was a black mass proposed a few years ago, and we reacted in a way that was, we thought, best, which was to counter it, to more protest, to send people there. And that did not work. It draws attention to it, and it gives it sets people in their path. Mm-hmm. So right from the very beginning, Cardinal Sean and I have directed that we are not encouraging anyone to go or to protest outdoors, but to go to the places of prayer. Now, in our Archdiocese, we have many shrines and churches, and we've gathered all that want to do this, and we have over 45, probably over 50 places of worship, shrines and churches that are doing adoration, that are doing the rosary. And so instead of directing people there to protest, we're directing people throughout our whole Archdiocese for places to pray and to counter it with prayer and not give in to what we presume they want, which is attention, which is what happens when people go and hold silence.
Bishop Mark, for those that aren't, in the Archdiocese of Boston up there, but want to pray, what do you suggest? How can we take part to kind of counter this and also pray for those lost souls?
Well, First of all, if they're in the area, we on our website, the Archdiocese of Boston, we certainly have a list of all the places we're opening for prayer, and some of them they're praying throughout the whole 3 days. We have prayer going on the entire time with dedicated people. So you can find that on the website of the Archdiocese of Boston, and I think that is the healthiest thing to do. I like to try to participate in God's plan to bring good out of every evil. From the cross, we have the resurrection. Well, from this strange event, I'm advertising all of our shrines and leading people to beautiful sanctuaries to pray. Hopefully they'll find it a beautiful place and want to go after too.
That's beautiful. And thank you so much for speaking with us about this. We appreciate it. God bless you.